Hi everybody, how are you doing today? I hope everybody is doing well, and I just wanted to jump on here and just talk about a couple things real quick. For one, this Governor Andrew Cuomo, is that how you say it? He's in New York. He's the New York governor. He is now up to 5 women. I know it started off with 2, then there was 3, now there's 5 women coming forward for inappropriate behavior against these women. So, again, where politicians feel they are above the law and, they feel like they're protected. So, when it comes out, it's very rare and they try to squeam out of it, and then once it's too far in the public, you can't, and something has to be done. Which, again, everybody needs to, that's just bothering me. Everybody needs to come forward and say what they need to say when they're approached or in this situation, or somebody has come on to them inappropriately. And it shouldn't matter how powerful they feel they are, or they've made you believe they are. They have to be held accountable, and you have to stand up against them. I mean, this is now 5 women who were afraid to come forward until somebody broke the ice. Unbelievable. And us women need to really start sticking together. I don't understand this separation that's started between women, and I really have no tolerance for women who think that it's okay to be with somebody else's man and get some kind of pleasure out of it. There's something really deeply wrong with you. But women need to stand together. And when something like this happens, you need each other more now than ever. And don't ever let anybody get away with that kind of behavior with you. It's unacceptable. And I'll go into more of that in a minute. But we also have another injustice in New York. A New York City judge slams prosecutor's office behind the wrong homicide conviction of 3 men. This doesn't happen, people. It doesn't happen. People who go to jail are guilty. Well, as I said in the Avery case, you were wrong. The ones of you who believe that are wrong. The case that I just read out on my Following the Corruption, where the chief of police and a prosecutor, which were a married couple, set up an innocent relative to take the fall for their crimes. It does happen. Wake up and smell the coffee. It happens. It's time to stop believing that this kind of stuff does not happen and that we're living in this perfect world or this fantasy world that some people want to believe that we're in. Justice is no longer, I wanted to say justice, but it's no longer even valid or alive here in America basically anymore. People who commit crimes get to get away with it, and people who are innocent get locked up. That has been a stream of cases that I've been seeing for several years now. Don't you believe that needs to stop? And when are we going to do something about it? When are we going to make a change? Because nobody else is going to step forward and do it. Not the crooked politicians, not the crooked governors, senators, lawyers. Anybody is going to change this besides us. And again, this is where we need to unite, and we need to stand together, and we need to start making things happen. But you guys have to join in and start making moves. Because this is an unjust situation. And it's all over America. The land of the free, my butt. This is not the land of the free. This is not a just land. Most of the criminals are running our government. and they feel they can get away with anything. I just did a story a couple weeks ago about the same thing with a Georgia. Was it a governor too? I believe it was a governor too. I'll have to look back. But come on, people. Seriously. When are we going to start joining together and making a difference? Which is what America needs. It needs its citizens to stand up and make a change. And if you believe in the Bible, for you guys who do, your story's being told right in front of you. And you have choices to make now. It's whether you want to make the right choices. Period. Okay, let me finish reading this part of the case, and then we'll go on to the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, 3 men were released from prison on Friday after the Conviction Integrity Unit CIU in the Queens, New York District Attorney's Office found that they had been wrongfully convicted of double homicide. George Bell, Gregory Johnson, and Ron Bolt were found guilty in 1996 murders of Ira Mike Epstein and an off-duty off-duty New York Police Department officer Charles Davis. During the armed robbery of a cash checking store. Sorry. I'm trying to hurry because I have to be somewhere, but I still want to get this out. So a guy and an off-duty officer were murdered in a cash checking store. They decided to blame 3 innocent men who have now, from 1996 to 2020, have finally been released. Innocent men have finally been released. And it's funny, with all the evidence on the Avery case, that poor guy and his poor nephew are still sitting in jail. Because from what I understand, it's state to state, and sometimes supposedly our government can't do anything about what goes on in a state. But the people can. The citizens can. But when are you going to do something? When are people going to stand up for people's rights? We have them. Use them, people. Between the injustice and inappropriate behavior with women and these supposed powerful men who believe they can do anything to anybody they want, to locking up innocent men in prison, to setting people up for crimes that they haven't committed, even down to people driving around that get pulled over by some police officers that decide to do the same thing. All these people are doing are dishonoring and breaking the law and committing crimes and using their positions for bad instead of good. It all has to come to a stop. But it takes us citizens to make it happen. And this is what I made this channel for. This is why I'm trying to build this channel. And I would love anybody who feels that there's injustice out there to join. I can't go further until you guys join. I need to be able to conversate with these smart people out here that know we need to make a difference. And my channel is about making a difference. And it's time we do so. So if you believe the same, you need to join. It's enough injustice going on in our country. Just like the Delphi murders. Those 2 teenage girls. There's so much more behind that story. And it's a corrupt state, county, and sheriff's department that is keeping it all under wraps and making sure that the truth doesn't come out to cover up their corruption. Just like the Watts case, there's more people involved in Colorado. Just like the Kelly Barrett case in Colorado. I don't know what's going on in Colorado too, but that's just, there's no justice being served there. But there needs to be. When are people going to say enough is enough, and that things have got to change for the better, and positivity and good need to start running it, not corruption and evil? Because at this point, that is what I believe is running our country and what our country is about. Money, corruption, power, evil. And it's time to put a stop to that, people. And we, the people, need to do it. So I gave you a little bit to think about tonight. I just wanted to get on here and give you a little something, because it's been a very busy weekend. It's going to be a very busy week for me. And I don't have a whole lot of time to be doing my research this week, so I just figured I would get on here, remind you guys of what I want to do, what we need to do, and talk about a few corruption situations that are major in our country that have to change. It has to change. And until it does, again, we're looking at a very, very dark tomorrow for us and our generations to come. And I really don't want to see that happen. So please join me in making a change. Once we get talking, we can get some other groups involved and we can start making it grow and make some changes, because all of us together are stronger. And they want us to stay divided. Look at all this hate going on out there right now. All this stuff they're stirring up, even with Disney characters, because as long as they can keep people angry and fighting and throwing all this negativity and BS out there, people aren't focusing on what is really going on or trying to make a change or anything else. They're focused on feeding into that hate and anger and arguing instead of making a difference. Let go of it all. Know that it's all a plan to keep you guys at war and disliking each other and arguing with each other, and realize we are all people, we are all one, we are all Americans, and we all need to make a difference. And all those haters out there can go the other way. Who cares? Don't give them the time. Don't feed into them. Don't feed the monster that makes the hate, that makes nothing happen. You need to feed the goodness and make the changes that need to be made to make a better tomorrow, people. Please listen to me. It's so clear out there on what's going on. We went from the politician fighting to the Disney fighting. Anything that the fake news can bring to light, that can make people fight, that can turn people on one another, they're going to bring to you. Stop watching the fake news on top of it all. Stop. That's all they want, is to cause chaos, because when it's in chaos, nobody's looking where they're supposed to be looking, just like they've done in every one of these cases. Anytime in one of these cases somebody starts getting to where it needs to be to prove something, they throw something out into the media to make you look the other way and start arguing and fighting over that, and then you forget about what really you're supposed to be focusing on. Stop focusing on the BS. Focus on the reality of what's going on in this world and why they are doing it. Because as long as you're chasing that ghost that they put out there, that angry, evil ghost, you're not focused on them. You're not focused on what needs to be fixed. You're not focused on the corruption. Remember that, people. And I'm going to leave you on that thought. I've got so much more to say, but I have to go tonight. I love you guys. Take care. Please heed my warning. Please join so that we can start on a better tomorrow. I love you. I will see you on my next video. Good night. Hi everybody. I'm so sorry. I had to jump back in here because I was listening to my preview and I don't know why I said Kelly. I meant to say Kelsey, and I don't know why Kelly came out, and that just makes me feel absolutely horrible that I mispronounced her name. Poor Kelsey Barrett that was murdered by her boyfriend, and the ex-girlfriend helped clean up the murder, and she is now being released after a very short term, and she should have been doing a whole lot more time. But I just feel absolutely horrible that I just misspoke her name, and I was thinking Kelsey and said Kelly. I am so sorry, but the Kelsey Barrett case, and I followed that from the beginning, and there's another unjust case. So, okay guys, you have a great night. I just had to clear that up. I felt so bad listening to the preview. Alright, I will see you on my next video.